In a groundbreaking step towards food self-sufficiency, Ghana has launched a climate-resilient feed initiative in collaboration with India's Arima Farms and CSIR Crops Research Institute. With wheat imports crossing $400 million annually, this project aims to cut dependency and boost local farming. DD India's Taposh spoke exclusively to Arima Farms MD Salai Manikam, who highlighted how South-South cooperation is driving agricultural innovation. She also shared how many Ghanaians admire and follow Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. A new chapter in India-Ghana partnership is being sown.
Wheat has been introduced to Ghana by them, along with CSIR, one of India's prominent institute. Isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, please. So we have brought wheat after a research of 2 years along with the CSIR, their Crop Research Institute in Kumasi. We thought that was one of the crops which could be indigenously grown here, developed here.
You mentioned the fact that CSIR, one of India's premier institute, was working with you people. To shed some light on what was the whole thing was, how many years you guys were working?
We have Arima Farms, we have MOU with CSIR, and we are working jointly in research for few crops. And one of it was wheat, which we have successfully announced in Feb. And we have few other crops which we are developing together. We work there. The CSIR in Ghana has 13 institutes. So we work with various institutes for various aspects of the research.
And now let's go across to Ghana, where DD India's Taposh Bhattacharya will get us the latest from Ground Zero. Good afternoon from India, Taposh. How is Ghana gearing up to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi today?
Very excited. In fact, we spoke to some of the Ghanaian here, and they are all at praise for Prime Minister Modi. The way they say that India has grown in the last decade under Prime Minister Modi's leadership and vision. They want the same kind of thing for India, for Ghana, and with the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they believe that the relation between both the countries will touch a new milestone. There are a lot of MOUs that can take place. In fact, we've been told that at least 3 to 4 MOUs can be signed in this particular visit. Ghana's president is a newly elected president. Mr. Mahama is expected to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the airport. So you can imagine the kind of bonhomie and the level of love that Ghanaians have for Prime Minister Modi and for India. Almost 800 projects currently are in place in Ghana, which are being directly or indirectly being done by India or Indian companies. Apart from that, as you just saw the story that filed, in that wheat was introduced in Ghana. In fact, wheat production in agricultural sector that's been introduced by Ghana through the CSIR. That's one of India's premier scientific institute in India. They, along with and a private sector company, they have tried to replicate the model that they had in India, in Ghana. Remember, before that, Ghana were they didn't have the production of wheat. They used to import most of that from outside. In fact, entirely their entire wheat consumption used to come from outside. So that's one part of it. When it comes to medical, when it comes to education, India is helping Ghana, and the vice versa. India is expected to get a lot of help from Ghana when it comes to critical minerals, when it comes to oil and other natural resources that Ghana has. So it's a win-win situation for both the country, and it's a classic example of the South-South cooperation that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been talking about. So the first leg, first stop, Ghana, and it's expected to be a major game changer for both the countries in their bilateral relations.
On day one on the agenda, Taposh?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What exactly is expected from day one on the agenda?
So Prime Minister Modi is expected to come to the hotel where we were told that a huge number of Indian diaspora members are waiting to get a glimpse of him. From there, he will be going to the Jubilee Hall, which is a presidential office where we are expected to have a closed door meeting between both the leaders, and at the same time there is expected to be a signing of 3 to 4 MOUs, as I mentioned earlier. Then there will be a press statement on the first day. So that's the the concise gist of what can happen on the first day, and then there will be in the night there will be a press conference by MEA on what happened on the first day. They will give you a summary of that. So that's one of it. On the second day, on third, that is, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to address the Ghana's parliament. So that's another thing that a lot of people are looking forward to. In fact, Ghana's member of parliament, we spoke to some of them. They were very happy. They were very keen to listen to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In fact, Ghana is one of the country in Sahara and West Africa which is a beacon of democracy in that particular area. It's surrounded by a lot of countries where there is a political upheaval. There is a lot of problem in those countries, but Ghana has shown that they can have a proper parliamentary and democratic institution which is functioning, and both countries take a heart from that. And also the fact that both countries were under British colonial rule, that also had they had a history together. So now both countries are looking to get move towards being a developed country, development nation, and Ghana believe that India has the potential. India has the wherewithal to help Ghana in capacity building, especially when it comes to infrastructure development and human resource development. Deepika.
Thank you so much, Tapur, for joining us from Ghana and bringing us all the latest from Ground Zero.